Hello and welcome to Yasodhara Ashram podcast. In this series, we will be offering an insight into the practice of satsang, where the community comes together every night and shares insights of wisdom and chants for the prayer list. In this episode, Swami Padmananda talks about receiving divine messages through songs and the gift of simplicity.
So for the last, couple of weeks, I keep finding myself singing, and I don't have much of a singing voice. 'Tis a gift to be simple, 'tis a gift to be free. It's a Quaker song. And so for a week, I would sort of just spontaneously, that would come to mind and I would verbalize it. And then finally I thought, maybe it's telling me something. Because it was about 4 or 5 years ago, the same thing happened. The song kept coming to mind. And I reflected on simplicity. And it just gave me so much. So I thought, well, maybe it's time to update what I know about simplicity or to start exploring it some more. And anyway, so I started doing that. And our Beings of Light group, we're working with personality aspects. And so I thought the opposite of simplicity is, complication. How do I complicate things? So I've been exploring that for a while. And, we've been encouraging ourselves in our group to not just say, oh, I don't like that part of myself. I don't like the part that likes to control or do all those things that sometimes we do, and to push it aside, but to enter into it and explore it and see what we can learn from it. And that complicated part of my mind does love to complicate things at times. Sometimes the answer is really simple, but no, I go around and around and around in my mind, or I find different pathways that really, I don't have to take physically or mentally. And so what a great focus it's been, just to see how I complicate things and to see where I can simplify things. And that's on a very physical level as well as on a mental, emotional level. And one of the things that Durga was telling me a little while ago about a book she read called, get this, The Complaint-Free World. So we talked about the book for a while, and then we made a pact between us that we would not complain. So the minute a pact is made that you're not going to do something, of course you find yourself doing it all the time. I complain about the weather. I complained about my toothpaste the other day. It just goes on and on. But having that lens on that just that complaining part of it brings a light in. And then I realized, I started to see, sometimes when I complain, it gives me something, and what does it give me? And there's a whole range of things that it kind of gives me. It makes me feel good and superior. And then other times it just makes me physically feel really crappy, to be honest. It's a mindset that's not very conducive to joy or kindness or compassion or any of those other. It takes me in another direction. So again, putting that lens on it has been incredibly rich, very rich. And so this song, then I finally got the words to the song, because I only knew the first line. And later on it says, we're going to sing it later, the band learned the song. But later on in the verse it says, when true simplicity is gained. And that, I never really clicked on that before, but it's something that comes, it's gained based on something. And I'm beginning to maybe get some glimmers of understanding that it comes from doing this kind of work. If I'm not complaining, I'm free from that. If I'm not complicating things, it creates a sense of freedom and simplicity, because all of a sudden I don't have to engage in all that puzzling stuff that complication does, or I don't have to engage in complaining. So just those two things, those two parts of myself that like to engage in those things, if I soften them and let them go, I'm gaining something, which, anyway, it was quite a discovery for me. And then I read a quote, 2 quotes actually, 3 quotes. One of them is from Lao Tzu, and he says, I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. Wow. And then Rumi says, before you speak, and that was the other thing, I realized that all my personality aspects, somehow speech is involved. Either it's my internal dialogue or blah, 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 speech. So here Rumi says, before you speak, let your words pass 3 gates. I'm sure many of you have heard this before. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? That's kind of fun to work with for a period of time. And then, now I need my glasses for this. Then I picked up Swami Radha's book, Yoga Path to Awareness, because that's what this is all about, gaining some awareness. In the very back page, she says, the path is nothing other than the process of our development toward greater awareness. It's so simple, yet profound, and a lifetime worth of work and exploring. So back to that complaint-free world, I thought, why don't we have a complaint-free ashram for a week? Why not? And let's catch each other if we start complaining, and ourselves, and see what it feels like. I think it'd be kind of interesting. Okay, so that's the challenge. Namaste. Thank you. Namaste. Let's repeat the Divine Mother prayer together. O Divine Mother, may all my speech and idle talk be mantra, all actions of my hands be mantra, all eating and drinking be the offering of oblations unto thee, all lying down prostrations before thee. May all pleasures be as dedicating my entire self unto thee. May everything I do be taken as I wish.
Thank you for listening. Yasodhara Ashram acknowledges the Tanaha and Sinaiaks First Peoples on whose unceded territory we are caretakers and guests. You can find out more about the ashram at yasodhara.org, where you can join the mailing list, and you can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This has been Satsang Talks, and Hari Om Tat Sat.